Hello, everybody. Hi there. How's everybody doing? Exciting times ahead. Hello, Nerissa, who happens to be our very first comment of the day. How are you doing, Nerissa? I see all of you coming in. I see all of you coming in. Excited, excited. Wow. Exciting times ahead today. Exciting times ahead today. Exciting times ahead. Tell me in the comment section below as soon as you come here. I want you to let me know where you're watching this podcast from. I want you to know where you're locked on from today. I see all of you in. Please don't be shy. I always say every time you come here, you must know that the comment section is your friend. So don't be a shy viewer. Go in the comment section below. Get interactive. Please let us know how you're feeling about the conversation. We love it when you guys guide the conversation. I see Precious says, looking gorgeous. Precious is so naughty. Precious. Thank you, Mama. Thank you. Exciting times. Precious says she's watching from Cape Town. Who else is watching from Cape Town? Hello. Exciting times ahead today. And if you have been on this page since a couple of days ago, since we introduced this interview that we're going to be having today, today we want to really have an important conversation. And this is such a timely conversation that we want to be having. And I have been feeling as though, personally, as an employee who is employed in a particular company and who has an 8 to 5 job, I have been so consumed in myself. I've been so consumed with my needs and how I'm going to survive in the next few months. But I almost felt as though I heard God say, have you put yourselves in the shoes of the people that actually have made the investment to create these companies, that have made the investment in terms of getting buildings that at this point in time are not necessarily producing anything, but still have rent to be paid. You know, some of you are working in warehouses, and some of these warehouses literally pay a rent of 100,000 rands very easily in a month, you know. So I know we've been thinking about our families. I know we've been thinking about our kids. I know we've been thinking about our spouses. I know we've been thinking about our lives and our job securities. But today I wanted us to have a very unique conversation with a certain group of people that I don't think we have a deep appreciation of how they feel in these times. And these are business owners. And so it gives me exciting joy, great pleasure to be hosting one of the women that I absolutely love. She is a sister to me. She has opened doors for me. You know, I've spoken on stages with her. She's just such a lover. She's a mother. She's many things. She's a business owner. She's a strategist. But today she's coming as a woman of faith, and she is coming as somebody that owns a business. She is a business owner. And she is one of the black female business owners. You've got to say it right. You can't get it wrong, right? She is a black female business owner that is currently on Pick and Pay's supplier list. So this is no small woman at all. She is an incredible woman, but most importantly, she's a lover of God, and I absolutely love her wisdom, her knowledge, her just ability to juggle life. Today, she's gonna come and just share with us the heart of an employer in these times. So if you have a business, I want you to stay connected. I want you to keep in the comment section. Please keep this interactive. But most importantly, I want you to ask questions, because we're going to have a few minutes at the end of this interview where we are going to pick one or two questions, and we are going to go right ahead and ask her to comment on specific things. I see a lot of people today connected, so clearly this is a very important topic. So let us get to calling her. Let us get to calling her. As soon as she comes through, we're gonna be having a very important conversation. I see Lungi says watching from Kensington. Okay, so we've got her. We have her. We have her. Hey, woman!
Hello.
It's so exciting to have you here. It's super, super exciting to have you here today. I've just been telling our audience a little bit about who you are, but there's something special that happens when somebody tells their own story. So for the next couple of minutes, I want you to just have a conversation with us with regards to who you are and what is it that you do.
Hi all. Hi, how are you? I was thinking just to myself now that I think my story is everywhere. But anyway, I will try by all
It's
means
a
to
good thing.
I'll try by all means to just summarize it and give you a glimpse of who I am. So my name is Debbie Matake, Debbie Ncube Matake. Yes. I'm a sister, I'm a mom, I'm a friend, and I'm a business person. And yeah, I come from Zim. I'm proud of where I come from. I come from Zim, landed in South Africa in 2008. And then things were very tough and rough. And I always say, I don't miss this. I always say it that in the beginning, I was one of those people who would go and queue on the refugee line to get a paper just for you to get a livelihood in South Africa.
Yeah.
And that was part of life.
Wow.
But then one thing that I also told myself during that time is I'm not going to end here. Something has to happen in my life and I have to go somewhere.
Yeah.
And from there, I worked in some firms as an accountant, as a bookkeeper, as an admin person. And again, that was not even fulfilling to my life. I really wanted to do something for my own because I believed in leaving a mark wherever I go or wherever I stay. I wanted to leave a mark.
Nice.
But getting into South Africa, opportunities were tough. So I had to find something to do. So I started law, reception, grew to a bookkeeper, grew to an accountant, and finally started my own business. And how it started was very funny. It was actually, I always say it was actually Brighton's idea, and Brighton is my husband.
Amazing.
And she was like, we always craved for peanut butter from home. That is
Wow.
Zim. And she said one day, why can't we just try to make it here? You guys, you used to make peanut butter at your house. Why can't we try to make peanut butter here? And I'm like, do you really think it's a good idea? And he said, try it. And I'm like, no, man, this won't work. And you know what? I just want to advance my career. But then later on, I realized that this can be a good idea. If I'm getting peanut butter and selling to my friends, why can't I just try to do it this side? And I tried to do it. And it worked. We had friends. Brighton will take peanut butter to work. He'll give his friends, and the response was so awesome. They would always come back to him and say to him, you know what? We are enjoying your peanut butter. We love it. Can't your wife make more?
Wow.
So from there, I knew that there is potential in this thing. So we just started in our kitchen. We bought actually, my mom sent me a small food peanut butter machine, and we started to grind it in our own kitchen. And then when people were buying and we were getting response from people, we decided, you know what, let's try to grow this. From here, where do we go? And we tried Cape Town markets. So you will think of your waterfront markets, Canal Walk market,
Yeah.
Lawrenceford market, and we will go and sell our product. And guess what? People were responding very positive. I remember at one time a guy called me and said, Debbie, you know what? I want to see this product in stores. This is a good product. This is really peanut butter. And I was
Amazing.
like, is this guy really serious? But he was serious.
Wow.
Because 2 or 3 years later, we found ourselves in Pick and Pay. How did we get into Pick and Pay? We strategically positioned ourselves at waterfront markets. We
Wow.
started to sell our product there. And people were loving it. And one day, some guys came to our store. I had a girl, and I'll mention her. Her name was Nikki. She was selling my products. Now I had an employee
Wow.
selling my products, and people were loving it. And these guys came to him, and they asked it, "Oh, what's this?" And she told her, "This is peanut butter. We make it from home, blah, 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 blah." They tested it, and they loved it. And they said, "You know what? We want this in our stores." Little did she also realize that these are Pick and Pay buyers.
Wow.
So when they gave her the card, she was so excited. She called me and said, "Please give them a call. They want our product." I didn't give them a call because I was so scared. How can I supply Pick and Pay from a kitchen? You know, Pick and Pay has got about 800 stores in South Africa,
Wow.
about 1,400 or 500 in Africa at large. How am I going to do it? To me, it was something that was quite big, and I didn't think that I'll do it. But when I got home, you know what I said? I said, this is a mountain that I'm willing to climb. I don't know how I'm going to climb it, but I'm going to climb, and I'm going to be on the summit. So what did I do? I went home, told Brighton the good news, and everyone was excited. And they said, "You, take it. Let's take it to Pick and Pay." How are we going to do it? We don't know. But one thing that is for sure is God will lead the way. You know what? God doesn't make you to meet some people for no reason.
Come on.
So I didn't call Pick and Pay. Pick and Pay, they called me and they said, "We are waiting for the meeting. Come, let's have the meeting that we said you're supposed to have." So I realized that they are serious. Let me go and see them. So I went, I met them. We had our first meeting. It was a frustrating meeting. And I even asked myself, why did I even bother to go there? Because it was a hell lot of
Frustrating
legislation.
about it. What
Yeah.
was frustrating about the meeting?
It was legislation, the things that I didn't understand and know. Remember, I'm coming from a background of accounting, bookkeeping, and all that. And now you're getting into the retail world. It's a different ball game. And to be honest, that time I was like, no, man, I'm not interested in this. And I don't know how I'm going to do it, but I don't think this is my field.
Yeah.
But when I got home again, I told Brighton the story, and it's like, you know what, Debs? We would be fools if a retailer would come to us and we will just say no. Whom on earth can you think of that a retailer has ever visited and said, "We want your product"? And also, don't forget this, don't forget where we come from.
Oh, yeah.
You know, then I said to myself, you know what? Again, this is a mountain that I want to climb, and I'm ready to climb it. So then 3 years later, we tried by all means to get the resources, no finance at all. Banks could not approve us. No one would borrow us money to start it. But we said, no, we don't care about people's monies for now. We are going to use whatever resources that we have on our own in order to see this business being a success. And we did that.
Wow.
And one thing that I learned, I think, from that is never, ever despise humble beginnings.
Wow.
And never, ever despise God or think that God, you can put him in a box. And you will just think that there are things that God can do in your life, and there are some things that God must not intervene in your life, and there are some things that you think you can manage them yourself. That time I realized that every aspect of my life, God has to be in it. And 3 years later, after meeting Pick and Pay in 2013, we only were able to supply them in 2016. I think that was 3 years of preparing.
3 years later.
And 3 years later, yeah.
That is such a powerful testimony. And I love that testimony. I can never get enough of it. And
I know.
wanted to share that conversation and that testimony with people, because I think what stands out for me is your stubborn faith. You know, your persistence. You were not willing to back down. You were not willing to let go. And I think that's such a powerful attribute to have in business, but more so importantly in these times. I mean, we're faced with a situation that we have never faced. We're faced with a situation that probably even the generation that came before us never
They
faced. It's
never did,
such a
yes.
unique situation. I like to call it a very strange situation. And a very
Mm,
strange situation requires for people to have very strange responses. So
exactly.
I want you to, take us through the mentality, the mindset of many employers at this point, because currently you have people that are working for you, and I'm personally an employee.
Mm,
So my mentality, my thinking, is very me. It's very me
eccentric.
related at this point, and many people
Yeah.
are thinking in that way. But I wanted you to have a conversation with us with regards to what are the fears that some of the fears, some of the challenges that you're facing as employers. What's going on in your mind at the moment?
At the moment, my mind is just a roller coaster.
Mm,
You know, I think nobody has ever experienced this before. I was talking to my mom just about 3 days ago,
yeah.
and she was telling me she's about 70, 71, and she
Mm,
told me never in her lifetime has anything happened to her.
mm,
So it's very clear that we are in a situation where nobody has ever been
mm,
in before,
yeah.
apart maybe from those who survived the 1918 Spanish flu.
Yeah.
Maybe those are the ones, but how many of them are still alive now? So
Mm,
you'll find that we are all new in this situation.
absolutely.
And hence the problem is very new even to my business. But
Mm,
there's something that I learned. And as I was reading this week, the story of David and Goliath,
mm,
there are some things that God does to your life that He prepares you for greater challenges that are to come.
come on.
Before I go there, let me I'm talking of cash flow.
Mm,
So just because I am somebody who supplies stores,
yeah.
it means that it's either my stores or my restaurants and my ice cream companies.
Yeah.
At the moment, they are not ordering
Mm,
because they are not
they're
trading.
not trading.
They are not trading at
That's
all.
right.
So it means I'm cash, or we are business people are cash strapped. And
Definitely.
I know of friends and colleagues who own stores in, you name of Canal Walk, Cresta, Menlin, big malls. Those stores, they are closed at the moment, and it means
Yeah.
they are operating on a zero turnover. And we are also coming from a economic climate that was a bit bad.
Mm,
You talk of the technical recession that South Africa is facing.
yeah.
It has got an impact on businesses. So people were are actually coming from a position where things were not okay before.
That's right.
And most of them, even before we were all cash strapped
It was
or
also tight still. Yeah.
things were tight. And now you can imagine your stores are closed.
Mm,
There is no trade, there is no turnover. But having said that, there are families or employees that depend on you. And when I talk of employees, from me, I'm talking of maybe me, I'll have something like 10 or 12 employees
mm,
that I'm employing now. But if you look at it realistically, I'm not employing only 12 people.
yeah.
I'm employing people that have got maybe 4 or 5 dependents.
That's right. So you're
And they're
responsible for
looking up to
families.
them exactly. So if you multiply 12 by 5, it means we might end up having maybe 100 people that are depending on the income that comes from Eden, all natural.
Mm,
And all those people, you can imagine what they are going through right now.
yeah.
So I think we are actually at a position where things are tight, things are not okay in terms of cash,
Yeah.
things are not okay in terms of there is no customer, even if there is cash out there.
Yeah.
But how are people going to buy the product
If they're
of a
locked down.
gogo who sells vegetables
Absolutely.
in Kailicha or in
Oh
Guguletu?
yeah.
So everyone at the moment, I think we are facing, we are actually in a rough world, in a tough time.
Mm,
But having said that, I always say tough times, they call for tough people.
mm, mm,
Somehow
yeah.
we gotta be tough
That's right.
because the situation is tough.
Mm, mm. And the power in what you're sharing right now is the fact that it's tough for everyone. You
It's
know,
tough for
tough for
everyone.
everyone,
Yes,
both employer and employee. And I think
exactly,
we have to be cognizant of that fact.
exactly.
I'm gonna ask you a very controversial question because you are an employer,
Yes.
but how do you think it's going to work? What's your thinking around somebody that is dependent on you, obviously, who is going to need to pay their rent, who's going to need to get
Yes.
their kids' fees still paid, who's got bills, who's got debit orders at the end of the month, and yourself, who has a business that is currently stale at the moment, and is not functional. At the end of the month, what do you see happening in most companies? You know, yeah, it's a tricky
That's a
question, but I
tough
think a lot of people would want to hear that conversation.
that's a tough one. But I think, like I said to you in the beginning, that like Brighton was telling me this afternoon, that you know what, I am seeing ourselves, we are in a tunnel. And the funny part about this tunnel is we don't know when we are going to come out of the tunnel.
That's the
But one thing that is for sure is there is light at the end of the tunnel.
come on.
Believe you me, we are going to come out of this situation. And one thing that is so good about it is we are going to come out of this situation stronger than we were before.
That's right. That's right.
And ready to take on the world.
Come on.
So to the employer, I think my message to you today is keep on grinding. Keep on hustling. Use social media. Talk about your products.
Oh yeah.
On Instagram, on Facebook. Talk about it.
Come on.
If there is means for you to deliver the product, try to.
Wow.
But doing that,
So
be
become
safe.
innovative in the way that your
Exactly.
customers actually get access to your product.
Your product, exactly. So we need to be very innovative. If I am to tell you now, in my house, I have got more than 30 of these.
Yeah.
These are jars of peanut butter.
Yes.
And my locals, people around me, they are calling me, Debbie will be home by 5:30. Please, can we come and just get our product?
Wow.
And what do? I have to protect myself in such times. And I'll tell them, make sure you're safe and make sure you can travel. If you can't travel, don't worry. We have got our drivers on standby.
Wow.
They will deliver it for you.
Wow.
So we have to be very, very innovative, because if we don't become innovative, it means after this tunnel, we are going to be stuck. So to that entrepreneur who is doing something at home, which is an essential product, just try by all means to find ways you can make your product go out there. Number 2 is listen. Out there are people who are willing to bail businesses out of this.
Wow.
So we talk of the Opperman, we talk of the Rupert. If your papers are okay, if your business is registered and you feel that you can apply for those things, take advantage of those things and just try to apply for them. Otherwise, after this, it's either there is going to be a boom in business or it's going to be rainy days again. So seek for all the help that you think you need at the moment and try to grab it.
You know,
Then to the employer.
Access to knowledge is very important. Is it possible for you to give us a link of some sort where people can actually apply for this funding? Because I personally didn't know about it.
Yep.
So maybe in the comment section below after the live, you can give a link to where the Ruperts and the likes are assisting small businesses.
Cool.
You can continue.
No, that will be awesome. I'll gladly share that information with all of us. And there's something also that I want to say to my friends out there, seeing that most of my friends are here. They are not South Africans, some they come from Zim and some they are South Africans.
That's right.
You know, sometimes as a people we spread news that is so fake. And sometimes we have even marginalized ourselves and think that there are things that we can't apply for or get access to because of where we come from.
Absolutely.
I'm telling you, it's possible to get anything that you want in South Africa, only if you put your heart to it and only if you are ready to look for it. And that's a fact.
That's incredible.
If I had listened to that voice 7 years back that tells me that I'm a Zimbabwean and I cannot get access to this, by now we wouldn't be having this show. But just because I chose not to listen,
yes,
and I chose to break the barriers and just to navigate, and get into that South African market. And now I'm here and I'm enjoying the benefits. So I think it's a call that I'm making to everyone, that just make sure that your papers are okay. Make sure that your company is registered. Make sure that you have got a license to trade. Now I saw that a lot of people, they are becoming innovative and also making sanitizers.
Yeah.
And I was asking myself, this is an opportunity and it's very good.
Very good.
Very good. And most of my friends, they are from Zim, who are doing such a brilliant product.
Wow.
But look at the disadvantage. Most of them, they do not have registered companies.
That's right.
And it puts you in a situation where you cannot be helped in as much as help is there.
Yeah.
You have got a brilliant idea, but you do not, your company is not registered. You do not have a license to produce. Do it, start from where you are, start from home, and let God do his way or do his will in your life.
So powerful, so powerful. Thank you so much. While I'm listening to you, I'm actually just realizing that you cannot be an entrepreneur and a victim at the same time.
Yep.
You cannot
Yep.
you cannot just sit here and think to yourself, oh well, because I'm a foreigner, then
Exactly.
I'm potentially not going to get one or two. And
Yep.
even if you're not able to get one or two, if
Yes.
the product is good enough, if you master
Yep.
your craft, whether it's a service or it's an actual product, if your product is good, they will make room for you in places
Exactly.
where room has not even been made for people of that country.
Exactly.
So you cannot be a victim and an entrepreneur at the same time.
Yeah.
Can't be a victim and a business owner at the same time. So thank you for that.
When you're saying that, you remind me of what I always tell my buyer when I have a meeting with my buyer at Pick and Pay. I always tell him, you know what? There is space for everyone and for every product in this store. Make space for us. And there is space for us.
So true.
Let's not limit ourselves and let's not look down upon ourselves. We have got the world to take over. And as long as your product is good, is spot on, and has got a license, you have got the world to navigate.
Wow. So powerful, so powerful. My goodness. I could just keep asking on that, but I want us to step into the area of faith, because I know you as a woman of faith. You are a devout believer. And how important is your faith in this season, in these corona times, as a business owner? How important is your belief system? What things are you constantly telling yourself in this season that are keeping you grounded? Because we God knows this is such a scary time for anybody, So what are you telling yourself in this season?
I always say it's important to have a belief system in life that governs you and that guides you.
That's right.
It is very important. And when I'm saying a belief system, I do not mind whether you're a Muslim, whether you're a whatever, whether you're a Christian. It's very important to have a belief system that sustains you and that governs you and guides you. To be honest with you, if it was not for God right now, I'll be insane. And that's the honest truth. And I've been chatting to my friends, and we were discussing, my friends in business, and we were discussing about this, that if it was not for God, guys, right now we'll be in mental disability institutions, and we will be depressed and all that. But one thing that gives me assurance is under his wings, we are safe and we are okay.
Come on.
There is nothing that happens in the world that God doesn't know. My brother would say, God is not surprised with situations. Even this situation that we are finding ourselves in, to God is normal.
Right.
He is watching and he knows, and there is no way he is going to destroy the world through this.
That's right.
There is a remnant that is going to be left. And it might be, it might be you and it might be me at the end of the day. So it's important to have God as your guide, or God as your sole provider. And like I was telling you in the beginning, that I was reading the story of David and Goliath, and I realized that before David met Goliath, there are some things that David went through.
Yeah.
So David, one day,
secrets in the wilderness when no one was watching.
Exactly. When he was with the sheep, there's a lion that came. And David says, I was able to destroy that lion. So God gave David a lion before he could meet Goliath.
Wow.
So that God can prove to David that don't worry about the greater challenges that are to come in front of you. I am with you. And what am I saying? All I'm saying is in my life or in my journey of being a businesswoman, supplying Pick and Pay, striking deals with Marcel's and Woolies and all that.
Yeah.
They were obstacles that I faced. And at one point, I remember coming home with my laptop and telling my husband that I'm ready to hang the boots. I think I have had enough of it.
Wow.
And you will just say, don't worry, we'll overcome. And sometimes I'll look at him and ask, how are we going to overcome this challenge that is in front of us? And you know what? Just at that point when I feel like giving up, God had a way of just coming through for me. And you'll do something. It might be in terms of financially, it might be in terms of help, it might be in terms of a friend who will just call and say, Debbie, you know what? I thought of you during this weekend. I was praying for you. And that was enough for me to give me a signal that God is with me or God was with me. And I was thinking to myself that if I had to overcome all these challenges, what is this corona to God?
Oh, come on.
That I cannot overcome.
Come on.
For the past 7 years, I think we have been ups. We had many hills and many rivers that we crossed, and not because of ourselves, but because God did it for us.
Right.
So if He did it for us, then what about this?
What about
this? Is something that will also come to pass. And we are ready to tackle it. And already, like I'm telling you now, we have got big orders that are actually waiting for us. They are pending, and we just need to produce and to deliver. And that's how God does His things. What He requires from us is people who are faithful. God requires us to be people who are obedient. And God requires us to position ourselves also strategically so that when He passes by, you will find us ready. So to my friends who are out there, who have got businesses and they feel like this is a mountain that they are not going to climb, I'm here to remind you that this mountain, you can climb it. It's all in your mind.
Come on.
You can climb it. Yes, exactly. You can climb it. We are going to overcome this.
Amen.
And after this, I'm telling you, Eden will be stronger and your brand as well will be stronger. Because for every challenge that we experience and every valley that we go through, God has got a way of raising us up so that we can cross them. So this is going to pass. It's not going to stay. If there's one thing that is for real, it's just a situation. And we have seen somebody sent me this afternoon of pandemics that hit the world 300 or 400 years back. They were great pandemics. It was so great. But then people they overcame. If we overcame Spanish flu in 1918, when there was no technology and when there was no anything, literally nothing, what about today in 2019, in 2020? God is going to make a way for us and we are going to come out victorious. And also I would like to tell my fellow friends that relax. God is in control. I can foresee people are panicking left, right, and center. And I'm not sure whether it's true news or it's fake news, but I heard on news there's a Germany finance minister who actually killed himself because he could not even start to think of what the world will look like financially after this. But I'm here to tell you that there's a God who is in heaven, who watches over the sparrow. He is able to watch over us.
Come on. So powerful, so powerful. I'm so inspired. I feel like I have a business.
Yeah, you have one.
I'm feeling so excited, like I have a business of my own, and I'm about to go back there with a renewed mindset.
And you know what? You know what, Melo?
Yes.
I was saying this afternoon. After this, we are going to see many businesses being born.
Come on now.
I'm telling you.
Come on now.
We are going to see radical shift in the way that the world operates.
Oh, come on.
And when there's that shift, I believe there is a boom in businesses. So let's take every situation that we find ourselves in as an opportunity to greatness. In my business, there's a lot that I was like, there's a lot that I can do even these online sales. Why can't I capitalize on them and deliver
Absolutely.
myself?
Even in
So
a stable
every
situation, even in a stable economy, why can you not
Why
still?
can't we? Exactly.
You
Why
know,
can't I continue to do it and to provide the service to my friends in Kaelicha, in Guguletu, who do not have access to it?
absolutely,
So
absolutely.
there's a lot for every situation and
Yeah.
that we find ourselves in. There's a birth of a business that is going to come out. And you
Wow.
never know. It might be your business. It might be my business. It
Wow.
might be a growth strategy for me.
So
So
powerful, so
powerful.
powerful. This is definitely a time for business owners to think outside of the box, but not only business
Exactly.
owners, but us as employees as well to think outside of the box, because you had
Exactly.
multiple streams of income as an employee, and
Yeah.
you were not necessarily just looking at the salary that comes in at the end of the month. If you had
Yep.
other, streams of income that are coming that don't necessarily need you to be there physically, then you wouldn't be
Exactly.
as shocked and as shook as we are right now. So I think
Yes.
it's such a great time for us to become inventive and to really start thinking through um, how best can we handle the situation if it happened again, God
You're
forbid.
right. You're
And
right.
that's going to lead me to my last question. And I wrote here that I want you to give us two things that we can do, that employees and employers can do in preparation for a similar situation if ever it happened in the future. God forbid that we go through what we're going through right now.
Again.
But
Yeah,
before
you're
you
right.
enter into that, I just want people that are currently watching to post questions, because we're going to be picking up one or two questions just after Debbie addresses this last question, and we just want her to just quickly address you in the last few minutes. So just put your question in the comment section below. Ask her anything you want to know, and she's here to serve us. So yeah, can you just tackle that one for us, Debbie?
I think the most important thing that I also learned myself was we ought to save.
Yeah,
We ought to save
yeah,
for rainy days.
absolutely.
And sometimes I'm sorry to use race. I'm sorry to use race. I don't like to use race. But let me just say it, as Black people, sometimes we do not save enough
Oh yeah.
for rainy days. What we get, our income straight, it goes to the mouth. And there is no 100 rand that is spared for days. And you don't need to save a lot, eh?
Oh yeah.
Just a 50 rand.
Yeah.
Just put it under the bed, under the carpet.
Because a lot of people on that one, a lot of people will immediately say to you, as Black people, we are already behind,
Yes.
so we don't have the disposable income to save. But
Yes.
speaking, I will personally tell you that I have saved more as a student than I'm saving now while I'm employed.
Yes.
There are times when I think to myself, there was a time when I didn't have a lot, but I was very diligent and disciplined in my saving. So I think that saving is a discipline. It's not a money thing, it's a discipline thing.
Exactly. And it's not a color thing.
Absolutely.
It's not who are you arresting. No. Save as little as you can. Even if it means 5 rand, it's okay. Save it.
So true.
At the end of the year, it would be about 200, 300 rand. But if you had not saved it, you wouldn't have that 300 rand.
Absolutely.
So I'm challenging my sisters that let's save. It's also a lesson that I got from this pandemic that, you know what, even in business, I need to save for rainy days.
Absolutely.
I need to be well stocked for rainy days.
That's right.
And I need to know in advance that in 3 months' time, I do have stock enough that will sustain my business when things are not okay. And I'm just privileged to be one of those few ones whose product is an essential service. And people, they need it. To some people, peanut butter is not a want, it's a need. They actually survive on it. And believe you me, today I was shocked, like I was telling you earlier on, that you know what, even in your business, even at this time when everything is shut down, keep on advertising your products or your product on Facebook,
That's
Instagram,
right.
and everywhere, because after this, people will always come back again and buy. I posted my product this afternoon, and guess what? One of the DGs saw the product, that is the Director General of CIFA and CEDA. She saw my post on Facebook and reshared it and posted it. And when she shared it, her boss called her and said, I don't see Debbie on the database for food providers.
Wow.
Government is busy trying to make sure that we have got enough food for food parcels for our people. Please tell her to fill in. And it was through what? It was just through me posting my product.
So
And
powerful.
exactly. So what am I
So
saying?
powerful.
I am saying, in as much as you serve, and especially in such times, don't forget to know that you're still an entrepreneur. You still need to hustle. You still need to grind. There is no time for rest or no time to say, we are staying at home, so I'm at home. No, 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 no.
Yeah.
We keep hustling and we keep doing it. And by doing so, we create more avenues for ourselves.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
So saving is very important for rainy days. It's
Right.
very, 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 very important. Then point number 2, the world is innovating. People are not sleeping, innovating.
That's right.
And by me saying innovating, I'm not saying go and start to make your peanut butter. My story might not be your story. Think outside the box and see what is going to be the need. I'm always fascinated by Uber, by Taxify and Drive In. Those were the people who thought outside the box and they were like, you know what? It's possible, let's do it. They tried it small and they grew it. And now it's worldwide. And that's what I think, that's what true entrepreneurs or true business people do. You start small. Start with whatever you have, even if it means you have got a gallon of oil that can be mixed into essential oils, and at the end of the day, you can make a sanitizer out of it.
Yeah.
Start there. The problem that we have is we have got people who want to start big. They do not want to go through the overalls.
Right.
So that they can eventually be CEOs and become the Ackermans and the Bassons of today.
We don't.
So what am I
process.
saying? I'm saying
We're
this is
not
the
process
time, guys.
people. We are results people.
Exactly, exactly. So try now, be innovative. Think of what the world will need after this maybe 3 months or after this tunnel. What is it that the world is going to need? And start to develop it. Then to the employer, and employee,
that's right.
I'm saying keep calm, guys. Have time to call your boss and just ask how are things going.
Oh, wow.
Reassure them that you are there for them and that whenever they need help, you are also there. Because sometimes, you know what, we don't need money. Sometimes we don't need money. No, we just need assurance that you guys, you are behind us and you are with us in such challenges. Because I always tell my girls at work that, you know what, life is not all about money. Money we will have and money will go.
Yeah.
But what remains between us is the bond and the relationship that we still have. The spirit of Ubuntu, we will always remain people and we will always be a people. And together, when we do things together, we are strong. So let's stay together. Let's be together. Let's innovate. Let's serve. Let's keep on grinding and hustling. And I am telling you, at the end of the tunnel, there is light.
Come on. Come on. So powerful. So powerful. As you were speaking, I see there is a question from Memory Muhao. Memory Muhao says, we are afraid to start. How do we overcome the fear of failing? So I'm assuming that this is somebody that is hoping to enter into business. And she's saying, I'm afraid to start. How do I overcome that fear? What would you say to somebody like that?
Just start. Just start. There is no method that I can tell you that, no, you know what, save money and later on try to do this. I started this business with 100 rand. Brighton always reminds me that it was 100 rand, not 1,000 rand.
Wow.
It was 100 rand. It was a bag of peanuts that we started this business. But now we are supplying more than 20 tons of peanut butter to the world by starting. So all I can say is, the problem that we have is we were told that you are nothing when you fail.
Hey.
That's the problem.
Come on now.
We were told that when you fail, you are a failure and you have to stay there because you are a failure. But I'm saying from failing, there are so many lessons that comes from failing.
Wow.
And take those lessons as stepping stones and try to improve and just start again. It like I'm reminded of Coca-Cola. They tell me that Coca-Cola, he failed 199 times. And on the 100th time,
Yeah.
That's where he started to make something. And I was reading the other day this magazine about Coca-Cola that in their first 5 years of business, they failed drastically. They said they even failed to sell in 1 month about 100 bottles of Coca-Cola. They failed to sell Coca-Cola in that particular month. But look now, every drink is called a Coca-Cola. Even if it's a
every
Fanta.
single one of them. Oros is Coca-Cola.
It's Coca-Cola, Pepsi,
Everything is Coca-Cola. So
But what they
true.
failed.
So true. Somebody here is asking, Debbie, how do you build credibility, more especially with putting a product in a retail space? What are the standards to be met? I'm assuming, obviously standards differ with according to whatever product you are pushing out, into the retail space. But
Yeah.
I guess maybe you can tackle the how do you build credibility side. And that's from Senze Kim Kumalo.
How do you build credibility, more especially with putting a product in retail space? What are the standards that are to be met? Okay, so from my experience, one thing I think that my buyer told me is, and I'm referring now from a retail mindset, is your product has to be different from other products. And one question that they asked me when I went for this other interview, where to a retailer that I wanted to sell my product to,
Yeah.
he asked me, what is it that is different from the 5 brands of peanut butter that I have already on my shelves? Why must I put Eden there? What's so special about Eden? So I think one has to identify what is it that is different from already what is on the market, because the market is flooded.
It is.
The market is flooded. I talk of one big retailer in South Africa who has got more than 10 brands of peanut butter, and I've been trying to get there, and it's like, what is it that is different from whatever that is on the market? So with my products, I'll tell them it's natural. What is it that is in your product that is different from the rest? So that I think that's where you need to make sure that you nail. It might be a product that is already in the market. Try to find a niche.
Oh, yeah.
Try to differentiate it to
yeah.
what is already in the market, so that when you go and present your proposal, you know the difference and you know the benefits. And the other thing, your product has to solve a problem.
Oh, come on.
We have got a problem with entrepreneurs who are trying to bring problems on the table. Then they bring solutions. You
of
get
bringing
it.
solutions.
Exactly. So the most important thing is to actually identify the problem that your product is going to solve.
That's right.
And when you have that, it means you can go to any buyer and tell him, you know what, this is the product that I have. It's a sanitizer. Now we do have a problem with coronavirus. It has got 99% alcohol, which is able to kill the bacteria instantly. So you need to be wise enough so that, again, it's not about you, remember, but it's about the person whom you're selling your product to. And he's the one who is supposed to give credit to that product. So know the niche and know the difference of what is it that is different about my product.
Absolutely. So powerful, Debbie. You know what? I want us to give away a couple of hampers today. We're such a generous platform. I always say this every single Wednesday. We're a generous platform. We love to give. We love to give. So we're about to give away a couple of families. About to walk away with hampers. So we've got 98 comments. Debbie, this is how important this conversation was. I see there's more questions coming. So maybe while we're just doing this giveaway, the way we're going to do this giveaway is that from number 1 to 98, we're just cutting off 98 is our last comment, but people can still continue to comment. You're going to give me a number, and I'm going to scroll, and whoever's comment is that number is the person that won the first hamper. And then you give me a second number, and then the person that commented on that comment becomes the second winner. What do you think?
Oh my goodness.
I think that is the best at this point, because we didn't write names down.
But you
But
know what
I
I was thinking? Okay, but
what
I'll
were
give
what
them.
were you
I'll
thinking?
give them courtesy products. I'll do that. I'll do your call and I'll give. I think I want to give those who asked questions a
Oh, okay.
hamper.
No,
So they
perfect. Perfect.
send like Kim Kumalo.
Yes.
She asked an important question, and
Yes.
I think she deserves the hamper. So I'll add a hamper for her and send her the product. Then
Denzel,
I'm
this is
just
your
checking
day
now
of
again.
salvation.
Yeah, before we do the counting thing. And memory, this one she'll come and get her product. I know. She asked a valid question
Wow.
because most of us we are so clouded with fear and we don't want to start.
Mm,
And we think that with money only, and I always say, you know what, it takes 10% money, capital, and 90% guts to be in business. So
wow.
this is a valid question, and
Wow.
memory deserves a hamper. I'm
That's so
also thinking
powerful.
now, who else asked a question? Thanks for reminding us that we have the part to play. We can't just sit passively. It's an active living faith we need in these times, right? Okay, thanks, Shamel.
So powerful.
Watching from KZN. I wish I could send you the products. Patience in Java. I'll try by all means to find somebody who can get the products to you.
Yeah.
Watching from Zim. La 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 la. Okay, all right. Now you can pick up.
Joseph, Tipe Odobi, please. Joseph wants peanut butter. He's like, please, just give
No,
us peanut butter.
let me tell you something about this Joseph, and I forgot to
Yes.
mention it in my story, just in passing. We
Yeah.
went to high school together. I went to a school called Rio Tinto High.
Oh,
I'm so proud of
wow.
that school. And one of the things that was an essential, now this is very essential. You
Right?
wouldn't go to a boarding school
If
without
you go
peanut
to a boarding
butter.
school, I'm one of those two. Been there before. Shoo. You had to have
So,
peanut
so
butter.
with this guy, we have got a history of peanut butter, and I won't mention it
Wow.
today, but he will steal our peanut butter.
Joseph, hey, Joseph, I hope you have repented. Wow.
So yeah, can I pick the number now? And I hope you won't pick someone in Zim, eh?
Yeah, so you have two. We have three hampers, two hampers,
Three.
three hampers. So you have picked
Yes.
Senzelwe. You have picked memory,
Yeah.
and the final person would be
Uh, okay, I'll give two more because there'll be four then. I'll give two more.
perfect. Perfect.
Yeah. Mm. Let's pick my favorite number, seven. Completeness, seven, seven, seven.
Awesome. So number seven, comment number seven would be, who is comment number seven? Okay, I think it's quicker if I come here. Okay, so number one was Nelisa, number two was myself, number three Nelisa, number four Precious, number five Precious, number six Lungile, number seven Fiona Wadza. Comment was, we have been waiting. Oh, excited for you, Fiona.
She deserves it.
You just won yourself the third hamper. That was her comment right there. We have been waiting. And what would
Yeah.
be who would be the fourth person?
The fourth person, let me check now. Let me pick up a number. Send one to UK. Irene, I can't. I wish I could.
Same.
I'm just trying to find a number, a number, a number, a number, a number.
Yes.
Okay, let me give you this tough one. Number 62.
Okay, so 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45. That's a tough one. 46, 47, 49, 50, 51, 52, 53. Okay, 53, 54, 55, 56, 57, 58, 59, 60. Number 60 is Sophie Maka. Sophie Maka.
Sophie Marker.
Do you know
No,
her?
Is it Sophie Maka?
Yes, it seems like Sophie Maka is number 60.
All right, can I pick another one? Because this one I stay with her.
And why is
I
this?
stay with her.
Oh, is that so? Wow.
Let me
Okay.
pick another one.
So
Okay,
then, so she
60
already eats the peanut butter every morning.
She eats peanut butter every morning,
Yeah.
so why can she win it?
No,
No,
no.
she can't. Okay, let's go maybe to the
Somewhere close to 60, hopefully, so that I can just.
70. Let's go 70.
Okay, so
70.
61, 62, 63, 64, 65, 66, 67, 68, 69, 70. 70 is memory. Again. Woo,
I don't know, she can't
memory,
eat twice.
your favor muscle today is just, there's an oil anointing over your head.
Too much. Okay, 71.
Okay, 71 would be Senzelwe once again. Wow.
Okay. No, 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 no.
Okay,
Let's go
number
72.
72 would be Irene Mbonje. Where does Irene
Okay.
Mbonje?
She's too far for me.
All right.
She's in UK. Next one.
Interestingly, the next one is your husband, Mr.
Ah.
Mr. Matake. The next one would be Octavia Chirati Tari.
Okay, that one, yes.
Okay,
She'll win a
perfect.
hamper.
Yeah,
Octavia.
you won yourself the 4th hamper. Wow. Exciting
Yeah.
times. I mean, please, in the comment section below, just let me know how you found this conversation. I will tell you that I'm not a business owner per se, but I found this so insightful, so powerful, so eye-opening. And I think that you just said something very powerful there. You said, check on your employers. That's so deep. I don't know how big an organization you work for, but if you work for a fairly small organization, do something very likely uncomfortable if you don't have a relationship with them, but just say, you know what, you're in our thoughts, we're thinking about you, we're praying for you.
Yeah.
That would be such a powerful gesture. Just a powerful gesture. I have no words. I have no proper words in particular to just express my appreciation for you coming on this platform and just being such a well of wisdom. Every time you speak, you're such a mover. You steer people up, and I could tell in the comment section below that people were being ministered to. You were not just speaking, you were ministering life to people. And
Yes.
thank you so much for bringing your experience. Thank you for bringing your story. Thank you for sharing your life with us. Thank you for sharing your journey with us. I know that somebody in those comment section is going to start their journey because they have been listening to your inspiring journey. So thank you so much, Debbie, for being a part of today's program. Thank you for the gifts, for coming with gifts, and for just being a great blessing to our platform. We appreciate you. Keep doing the amazing work that you are doing for South Africa. Please keep doing the work that you are doing, the powerful work that you're doing, representing us as females, taking up space and owning it. Keep being amazing in being a woman believer that is using the tool, this powerful technology called faith in the industry, and just being a powerful inspiration. A lot of people will come to know Christ through you. Sometimes you don't need to go with the Bible. You don't need to open the Bible. You need to literally step into that space and be absolutely good at what you do. And people will start asking you, how do you do what you do? And then you will say, there is a man named Jesus.
Up above. There's a name. Yeah, you're very right.
There is a man. So thank you so much. Senzelo says it was really resourceful. I don't take it lightly having access to people who are evidently building. Thank you so much. We indeed see your work. I get excited every time I see the Bible.
I know.
Wow.
I know.
Wow. So powerful. Memory says, I found it eye-opening and I'm ready to start my own thing. That's the spirit, Memory.
Exactly.
That's the spirit. Shame. Irene says, I guess I'll have to relocate to South Africa then. I think she was one of the people that warned, but unfortunately she was too far. And there is a lot of travel ban. So even if she could bring it to your country, unfortunately we don't have you know, we don't have transport going that side. So
Yeah.
sorry, Irene. Please be here next week. You might just win something because there's always something to win every single week. Debbie,
Yeah.
thank you. We appreciate you. We love you. I'm just gonna say bye, and I will say hi to you just now and just, you know, talk to you afterwards. But let me
Okay.
say bye to everybody. So last words as you
Okay.
yes.
I think my last words to everyone will be this verse today, and it was so powerful.
Mm,
And then shall thy light rise in obscurity,
mm.
and thy darkness